Good morning, everyone. As the sun rises over cities and small towns across the country, we're reminded just how vast and varied the United States truly is, especially when it comes to the weather. This weekend, the U.S. faces a dramatic weather split, stormy coasts and a warm, tranquil heartland. It's a classic example of how, at any given moment, Americans can be experiencing completely different seasons, all within the same borders. Both the East and West coasts are bracing for powerful storms. On the East Coast, residents are preparing for coastal flooding and hurricane-force winds, with waves battering the shoreline and streets already filling with water. Meanwhile, the Pacific Northwest is facing an atmospheric river bringing relentless rain to the lowlands and heavy snow to the mountain passes, making travel treacherous and raising the risk of landslides. Meanwhile, the central U.S. will feel more like late summer with record warmth stretching into the Dakotas. Farmers are seeing their fields bask in sunshine, and people are enjoying unseasonably mild days, trading jackets for t-shirts even as the calendar says it's autumn. A persistent ridge of high pressure is keeping the plains dry and sunny, creating a bubble of calm in the nation's center. But this warmth isn't just a pleasant surprise, it's also fueling the intensity of the coastal storms, as the clash between warm and cold air grows more dramatic. The sharp temperature contrast between the warm center and cooler coasts is a key ingredient for these powerful systems. When warm, moist air from the south meets cooler, drier air from the north and west, it creates the perfect setup for storms to intensify rapidly. This weekend truly showcases the nation's weather diversity, from pounding surf and blizzard conditions in the mountains to sunshine and unseasonable heat in the Midwest. It's a reminder of how quickly conditions can change and how different life can look from one region to the next. The pattern, stormy coasts, warm center, will likely persist into next week. Meteorologists are watching closely to see if these systems will shift, but for now expect more of the same, active weather on the edges and a summer-like feel in the middle. Let's break down what to expect in each region, so you can plan ahead whether you're traveling, working outdoors, or just curious about what's happening across the country. We'll cover the timing, impacts, and science behind these events, giving you the tools to understand not just what's happening but why it's happening. From the Carolinas surf to Rockies snow, we have you covered. No matter where you are, we'll help you stay informed and prepared for whatever the weather brings. Understanding the forecast is the first step to staying safe. Make sure to check your local alerts, have an emergency plan, and stay tuned for updates as conditions evolve. Now let's dive into the details of that East Coast storm, exploring what's driving it, who will be most affected, and how to prepare for the days ahead. The eastern seaboard, stretching from the sun-soaked shores of Florida all the way to the rugged coasts of New England, is bracing for a major coastal storm, one with an unusual track and the potential for widespread serious impacts. This is not your typical nor'easter or hurricane. It's a rare system that meteorologists are watching closely, and it demands our full attention. Communities along the coast should expect a dangerous combination of heavy flooding rainfall, damaging winds, significant coastal flooding, and severe beach erosion. The storm's effects will be felt far inland as well, with rivers and streams at risk of overflowing their banks. The storm is forecast to organize off the coast of Florida Friday evening, then slowly crawl up the Atlantic coastline through early next week. This sluggish movement means the region will experience prolonged impacts, with hazardous conditions persisting for several days, rather than just a few hours. Rainfall totals of 2 to 4 inches are likely along much of the coast, but some areas, especially in eastern North Carolina, could see up to 6 inches or more. This much rain in a short period will trigger both flash flooding and river flooding, threatening homes, businesses, and critical infrastructure. Low-lying neighborhoods and flood-prone areas are especially vulnerable. Remember, it only takes a few inches of water to sweep away a car. Never attempt to drive through flooded roads, as conditions can change rapidly and become life-threatening. Winds will intensify Saturday evening and continue through Monday, with sustained winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour and gusts reaching up to 60 miles per hour from Virginia Beach to Cape Cod. These powerful winds will make travel hazardous and could cause widespread damage. Offshore, hurricane-force gusts are possible, creating extremely dangerous conditions for mariners and anyone near the water. Waves will build to impressive heights, making the ocean especially treacherous. These intense winds could easily bring down trees and power lines, leading to power outages that may last for days. Now is the time to secure outdoor furniture, trash bins, and anything else that could become airborne in strong gusts. Persistent onshore winds, combined with high astronomical tides, will drive major coastal flooding and accelerate beach erosion. Water levels could rise 6 to 12 inches above normal in the Carolinas, putting homes and businesses at risk. Large battering waves will relentlessly pound the shoreline, inundating roads and properties and making some areas temporarily inaccessible. Storm surge will only add to the flooding threat. This is a dangerous and potentially life-altering situation for coastal residents. Heed evacuation orders if they are issued, and make sure you have a plan in place for your family and pets. Stay alert for local warnings and be ready to act quickly. Monitor trusted sources for the latest updates, and don't let your guard down, as the situation can evolve rapidly. The storm's slow movement means impacts will linger for days, with repeated rounds of rain, wind, and flooding. Recovery may take time, so patience and preparation are essential. Prepare now for a prolonged high-impact event. Stock up on essentials, review your emergency plan, and check in on neighbors who may need extra help. The actions you take today can make all the difference in the days ahead. How does this storm form? It's all about phasing. Two upper-level energy streams merging into one powerful system. A southern disturbance brings spin and moisture from the Gulf Stream, while a northern wave drops down from Canada. These merge over the Delmarva Peninsula, rapidly intensifying the storm and pulling it up the coast. This rare track maximizes impacts for the mid-Atlantic and New England. Warm ocean waters fuel the storm, making it a prolific rainmaker. The storm forms off Florida and Georgia Friday night, strengthens near the Carolinas Saturday, and brings peak rain and wind Saturday night. By Sunday, the storm targets the mid-Atlantic, then New England into Monday. It won't clear the coast until Tuesday or Wednesday. The slow, consolidated track means prolonged impacts. This is a high-impact, long-duration event. Now, let's jump to the Pacific Northwest, a region famous for its lush forests and dramatic coastlines, but also for its frequent encounters with powerful weather systems. Right now, an atmospheric river, known as a Pineapple Express, is drenching the region with relentless rain, soaking everything from the coastal cities to the mountain valleys. This plume of tropical moisture, originating near Hawaii, is streaming thousands of miles across the Pacific and is aimed directly at the West Coast, acting like a fire hose of rain. As a result, communities are facing heavy rain and a significant risk of flooding, with streets and low-lying areas already seeing water accumulate. Rainfall totals of 1 to 2 inches are expected across the interior West, and some areas could see even higher amounts if the rain bands stall. Coastal Washington and Oregon are bracing for up to 1.5 inches of rain, with gusty winds adding to the storm's intensity along the shoreline. The ground is already saturated from previous storms, which means the risk of flash flooding and mudslides is much higher than usual. This is especially true in mountain regions and areas with burn scars from recent wildfires, where the soil can't absorb much more water. The storm is also drawing in remnant tropical moisture, intensifying rainfall rates and expanding the area of impact. This surge of moisture is boosting rainfall potential even farther south, reaching into parts of Arizona and Utah that rarely see this kind of soaking. Flood watches are in effect across a wide area and may expand as the storm progresses, so it's important to stay informed. The heaviest rain and mountain snow are expected from Saturday through Monday, making travel through the Cascades and other high elevations especially hazardous. As the system lifts into Canada, rain will continue to spread inland, affecting communities well beyond the coast. Like the East Coast storm, this is a multi-day event, with impacts that will linger and evolve as the week goes on. Rivers and streams may overflow their banks, leading to localized flooding and dangerous currents in affected areas. Stay alert for local warnings and updates from emergency officials, as conditions can change rapidly. Prepare for travel disruptions, road closures, and hazardous conditions, especially if you're planning to drive or fly in the region. This is not a quick-hitting storm. Expect persistent rain, possible power outages, and ongoing impacts well into next week as the Pineapple Express continues to soak the Pacific Northwest. While lower elevations face flooding, the mountains brace for a winter storm. The Rockies could see over 2 feet of snow, creating treacherous travel and the season's first blizzard conditions. Heavy wet snow and strong winds may cause power outages, especially with leaves still on trees. Temperatures will drop rapidly, with rain changing to snow and possible flash freezes. ski resorts welcome the snow, but early season storms can be disruptive. Even in mid-October, winter is knocking on the door in the west. While the coast battle storms, the central U.S. enjoys a summer-like October. A massive ridge of high pressure brings clear skies and temperatures 15-25 degrees above normal, with highs in the 80s across the plains. It's perfect for outdoor plans, but this warmth also fuels the coastal storms. In contrast, the Northeast will be chilly, with highs in the 40s and lows dipping into the 20s and 30s, some spots even colder. Freeze warnings are in effect for much of the interior Northeast. This national pattern, warm center, cool coasts, will persist into next week. The central U.S. stays dry and warm, while the west remains stormy. The east will trend closer to normal after the storm departs. Expect continued weather contrasts across the country. Stay tuned for shifting conditions. As storms unfold, let's look at the bigger picture. Snow and ice cover in the northern hemisphere, the cryosphere, sets the stage for winter. Snow cover reflects sunlight, cooling the ground and building cold air masses. This year, snow and ice growth is ahead of last year and about average historically. Siberia's deep snowpack is especially important, as it helps generate the Arctic air that can reach North America. The Rockies' first snows and Siberia's snow growth are key building blocks for winter. The coming weeks will determine how much Arctic air is available for the U.S. this season. Beyond our weather, space and history offer perspective. A large coronal hole on the sun is sending a high-speed solar wind toward Earth, possibly enhancing the northern lights. No major solar flares or geological events are expected. The moon is waning, with the next new moon on October 22nd, great for stargazing. October 1952 was the driest month on record in the U.S., a reminder of climate extremes. This week also marks the anniversary of the first long-distance telephone call, technology that now helps us share vital weather info. It's amazing how far communication has come. To recap, the U.S. faces a weekend of extremes, powerful storms on both coasts and summer-like warmth in the center. The East Coast will see heavy rain, damaging winds and flooding. The West faces an atmospheric river and mountain snow. The central U.S. stays warm and dry. Be prepared. Have multiple ways to get weather alerts, know your evacuation routes, and never drive through flooded roads. Secure outdoor items and prepare for power outages. Help neighbors who may need assistance. Take these warnings seriously. These are not minor events. We'll keep you updated with the latest information. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll get through this active weather weekend together. Have a safe weekend.